Hi Nazar, Ben here again from the United States. This is your educational video. This is the one that shows you how to run the system, control it, set it up for different type of cleaning. It's going to be a very short one, but before we get into it, there are some areas I need to bring to your attention, which is safety around this machine. Number one is starting with the fuel. Your fuel pump is on the top. If you notice, if you follow that hose, it's going to end up to a fuel filter. Never run this hose over this area, because that silencer, it gets about almost 200 some degrees, and of course this is the exhaust of the engine. So for safety, just like the way we have done, run the fuel line through these holes. Just choose either one you like, go all the way down to the top of the tank, and then come out into a fuel tank, or you can simply connect it to the fuel tank of the vehicle. Another thing is this is your clear hose, which you'll be able to do your injection of chemical. Again, run it through one of these holes, come out from the bottom for safety. That way you'll be able to simply set it inside of a chemical bucket without damaging this hose. Now, go on to the right side. There are two hoses here. When you're gonna receive the system, you're gonna get two hoses, which basically the end of them are just loose. The reason we make them oversized, for you to be able to simply figure out where you're going to be drilling a hole through the floor of your vehicle by running this hose, cutting it either shorter, running it through. What this does, this is called the overflow preventer hose, which in case if you connect the water hose to the freshwater tank and start filling it, and let's say you forget about it, that way by having this hose, the tank gets filled all the way to the max capacity, and if there is any additional or any extra water, it can pour out of this hose beneath your van, so that way you will not flood your system. Now this is another hose, what we call the bypass jumper hose, which you'll be able to relieve the machine from any kind of heats and what have you when you're going to do the shutdown, which I'm fixing to explain to you in a few minutes. Now this is very important for you to simply drill another hole, like about 3/4 inch hole in diameter, through the floor of your van, and run this hose without cutting it any shorter, all the way through the floor. So in case if you by accident, machine, let's say, has about 240 some degree of water temperature in it, and you happen to open the yellow valve, the relief valve, that way you will not have these hose flying around and spraying hot water and boiling water to the bystanders or yourself. So this is very important for it to be drilled and pass through the floor. As far as the operation of this machine, very simple. We're going to start off, as far as giving the machine water, you can simply either give it water through this area right here, or use this freshwater tank. You cannot use both. That means you can connect the garden hose to the machine and then turn the pump on for the machine to operate. Either use the garden hose to connect to the machine, or simply turn the machine on by using the freshwater tank. If you notice the dark areas here, this is how much water we have in there. If you need to evacuate the water, to empty it, simple right here, look. And there's another valve here, which you probably wonder what it is. This one, we're going to provide you an extra hose that you can run outside of your van. This is where you can evacuate your all your recovered gray water that you're bringing in from the cleaning site. As far as the operation, is very simple. On the top you can see two handles, which of course you'll be able to see the icon of them on the engine. One of these handles are bent upwards to show you the difference between both. So this is your choke. To the left is closed, to the right is open. When you're going to start the engine, the choke must be moved to the left to allow the engine to siphon extra fuel to fire up. Now your throttle handle to the right, if you notice, is throttle, which is slow, or you can simply move it all the way to the left, which is rapid. What speed and what speed you would think it would be the best is very simple. You can operate this machine anywhere from 2400 RPM, which is doing a furniture cleaning, or you can do carpet, tile and grout water extraction anywhere. You can set the engine anywhere from 3000 to 3200. You will be, I mean, it is possible for you to run the system even over 3200, but running that faster than 3200, you're getting the system to extremely becomes hot. So now you better run around to try to catch up with it. But with our experience of building these and getting feedback from the market, The best speed to run the Inferno, it is anywhere from 3,000 to 3,200. How do we know? Very simple, right here. This is your clock. Right now it shows that the machine has operated 1 hour. But once I crank the engine and start the engine, those numbers will change to the speed of the engine. As far as the startup, simple. Here we go. We're gonna move the choke. Let's say everything is all the way to the right. First thing you do, you raise the RPM a little bit. You move the choke all the way to the left. With your left hand on the choke and the right hand on the ignition, as you're cranking, open the choke. Now you want to make sure, right now we know we're going to use the freshwater tank, so our auxiliary pump should be on. By me turning the key on, you'll be able to see the toggle switch is light up. So is the green water is on. That means we're having a good amount of water coming in. Now we're ready to go. Simple. Again, move up the throttle a little bit, close the choke. As you're cranking, open. Take a look. Ready? Go. You're gonna hear the engine doing a convulsion because it's too cold. But once he heats up, he's gonna start running smooth. This is how all the twin-cylinder engines are. Anyway, we're gonna practice one more time. Again, everything's to the right. First, we're gonna move the throttle a little bit high. Close the choke. As you're cranking, open it. Now, always allow your machine to run a good minute to kind of loosen up, because the machine has been sitting. You don't want to just turn the machine on and right away speed it up to the 3,000, because that's gonna kind of give the engine a shock. You want to allow the oil to start traveling all around the engine block and then start lubricating the engine before you start revving it up to the speed that I recommended. Now, one of the areas you want to pay always attention, there's a dripper valve on this system that guarantees your regulator and your pump, which is the most fragile part of this system or any system, not to burn, which is right here. If you notice it's sliding in open position, let's go see where that hose comes out. If you come in here, you'll be able to see that, the little dripping, which you can even reduce it. But never open it more than what I have got to set up, because while you open it too far, then you're going to start forcing the water from the heater to start traveling through the pump and damaging it. So as long as you have a small flow like that, you should be fine running this machine no matter what mistake you make. Okay, putting the thing back on. The last lesson will be how to speed it up. Again, both handle to the right. Move the throttle a little bit to the left. Choke. Start. Now the engine has run, so I don't need to wait around for about a minute or so for the engine to warm up. But I'm going to show you what is the best way to get an accurate reading on your clock or your RPM meter, by holding the top panel with your 4 fingers and use your thumb. By using your thumb and moving the throttle slowly to the left, start looking at the speed, you'll be able to get your desired speed. Take a look. Okay, let's say you have done your job. You have cleaned so many areas, you want to shut down the engine. One of the best way to shut down the engine, allow the system to cool off. Well, I know we're not hot here, but by opening this hose, you're allowing all the hot water to come out. And once all the hot water is evacuated out of the system, shut it. You can simply spray some WD-40 in here. By opening that valve, you'll be able to spray in here lubricant. And right before shutdown, it is very important for you to increase the RPM first, then shut it off. Why? Because all the twin-cylinder engines that we use from either Honda, Kohlers, Briggs, they all come with fuel solenoid. If you shut down the engine at low speed, you may have over deposited fuel into the cylinders. which is going to cause two things: either backfiring or give you a hard start when you're going to go do your next job. That's pretty much it. You know, as far as the training, if you notice, it's very simple. If the only thing you need to keep an eye on, it's your speed of your engine. Faster the engine runs, hotter the water gets, better suction, higher flow, higher everything. Slower the engine runs, cooler the water, weaker the vacuum, lower the flow, and what have you. That's all. This is it. And of course, once you receive this system, me and you will go over it one more time over the phone to make sure everything is running okay, and we go from there. The next video I'm going to record pretty much show you how to change some areas. Let's say if you need to do a coupling change on the system or a belt change, and how to service it, which is going to be a very short video. Until then, we'll see each other. Thank you, Nazar.